What's up and welcome to the Active Amputee podcast. Everything people with a limb difference need to live an active and exciting lifestyle. I'm Björn Eser, the founder of and shaker and maker behind the Active Amputee. And today you are listening to episode number 43. In episode number 43, I'm talking with Peter Franzel, and he talks about his experiences during sports events, para sports events, mass events, mega events, and how Ottobock supports athletes with its technical services. And today I'm very happy to have Peter Franzel with me. Peter Franzel is working with Ottobock and has been for some time. And I think your official title, Peter, is Head of Events and Exhibitions, if I'm not mistaken, by Ottobock. And that also covers the big field of technical support services for mega events. Welcome, Peter. Nice to have you on the show.
Hello, Björn. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
And
maybe
yes,
you can... Oh, sorry.
No. Yes, that's full correct. So I'm responsible. So I always say I have the best job in the company. You know, Ottobock is dealing with prosthetics and wheelchairs and orthotics for over 100 years, and I have 9,000 colleagues around the globe. But I definitely got the best job. So I'm proud and really thankful that I'm responsible for all events. Global events, trade shows, and the Paralympic engagement that we have. And that includes for sure also the technical service that we deliver at all Paralympic Games.
Yeah, cool. I mean, we have met around, well, in the context of the recent Invictus Games 2023 here in Düsseldorf. I must say I'm based near Cologne, so that's just around the corner here. In which role has Ottobock and in which role have you been involved with, for example, now the Invictus Games? Let's take them as an example because it's less than a month that we had them here.
Yeah, basically, let's maybe start a little bit earlier. So it all began in 1988.
Yes.
With the Paralympic Games in Seoul. This was the first time where Ottobock technicians, were some colleagues of mine, actually was four guys from Australia. They heard about that people are doing sport, are competing in sport by using wheelchairs and prostheses, and they thought, okay, if they do sport with this equipment, there must be some damage. They must need some assistance and repair, and they drove to Seoul with a little tent and some tools and some spare parts. And they were heavily busy all the time. And ever since then, we offer the so-called technical service for prosthetics, orthotics, and wheelchairs at the Paralympic Games. That means that we operate a fully scaled prosthetic workshop, and we offer this service to every athlete, no matter what delegation he's from, no matter what nation, no matter what type of product, what brand of product. So we're not only taking care of Ottobock products, we take care of all products that come in. And it's very simple. They open the door, they come in with the wheelchair, have a flat tire, we just change the tire, and then they go out. And it ends up to really rebuild new prostheses, or to have also very special alignments, adjustments, for example, for athletics. The top stars, they are dealing with 1 millimeter more left or more adjustments, more right. So really fine-tuning alignment. So we got the full variety. And this is very helpful for the athletes and make them compete in a fair way.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. I mean, if you say, okay, it started with 4, I guess, semi-volunteers back in 1988, which just basically took their own initiative. And I mean, now I can just imagine, just from what I see from your press releases and newsletters and others, that now it looks more like a huge logistical, I don't want to say nightmare, but let's say a big challenge. What is actually involved in the run up to these big events like World Championships, Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games? What does it mean logistically for you to then be there also on top of the game, be there, as you said, for each kind of need, each kind of demand, and be approachable and relaxed to actually do the job?
Yeah, so actually the largest event is the Paralympic Summer Games every 4 years. And there we start 2.5 years before the event.
Wow.
with the organizing process. So it basically starts with the host, the organizing committee in the host city. where we explain, okay, we need this in this facility, we need this space, we need these locations. And then on the other hand, we start our internal preparations by searching the team. For example, now upcoming games in Paris next year, we have a team of 160 individuals.
Wow.
Which is which is a large number. And we need different skills. We need with CPO, so certified process and authorists. So we need wheelchair technicians, a lot of wheelchair technicians. It's around 70% of the repairs are wheelchair repairs. We need sewing specialists. Sewing is much needed, not only for the backs of the wheelchairs, for the fabric, but also for some straps and belts and many orthotic things where we need sewing. We do welding. So if the frames of a wheelchair or some orthosis bars are broken, we can do welding. So we need many different skills. And then we need also, for sure, female, male persons. We need to cover a lot of languages. For example, the team next year is able to speak over 40 different languages.
Wow, that's cool.
And this is for sure. The athletes, they come from all around the world. I think over 180 nations will participate in the Paris 2024 games. And Ottobock needs to be there for everyone.
Yeah.
And for sure, the easiest way to explain what you need and what your problem is to do it in your mother language. Okay?
Yeah.
So we try to cover a lot of languages. And so you have two or multiple strings in the organization. So one is dealing with the organizing committee, what our needs are, and then you start our preparations. What the team do we need? Then for sure we have the one string, what equipment and materials we need. So at the summer games, we have one huge facility in the village where the athletes live. So this is around 650 square meters large. And then on top, we have 14 smaller workshop units in the venues directly next to the field of play. So we can do some repairs just before they go to their event, or in the tennis, for even during the event.
Yeah.
But the tennis match, when wheelchair tennis, when the tire is blowing up, then you have 15 minutes time to change it. Otherwise, the athlete is out of the game.
Oh, yeah. Let's put some additional stress on your team.
Yeah. And this is, but from the organization perspective, you have many strings, and this is why we start so early to really have everything on time. And then now with less than 1 year to go, the organizational work, the paperwork is done. So every list is set, every person is informed, and now we are starting from thinking, and then organizing is now process finished, and now we start with doing. We start to place the orders, we start to train the team, we start to select hotels. So now is the mode. Now let's do it.
You just mentioned kind of the demands towards the team, not just obviously in terms of their qualification, their craftsmanship, their being able to also perform under pressure, and probably with customers which they've never seen before, where you kind of have to find a solution within minutes. But as you said, also being gender balanced, age balanced, being able to speak different languages. And we all know some people, connect well with one type of person, and some find others more or less approachable. Is it hard for you to actually get enough people for the team, or is it something where you have so many volunteers saying, I want to be part of this experience, and you actually have no problem staffing your crew?
We have no problems. No. No, as mentioned earlier, Paris team, we have 160 persons there, and we got over 500 applications.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
So, and as you mentioned, yes, we need to select the criteria, and also we need to have experienced people. So we always take minimum 1/3 of the team has already been to the game, so they know roughly what it's about and can train the newbies, because it's a complete different environment. When we just pick out one type of person, a CPO, a person who's dealing with prosthetics. In his normal life, he will go to work in the morning. He know where to hang his jacket. He know where he gets his coffee. He know where his workbench is, and he know, okay, today is coming patient number 1. And he has a look, and then he said, okay, we do this and this, and then we order some parts, and you come back next week, and then I have the parts here, and then I fit you, and then you try a little bit, and then you come back next couple of days, and then we do. So it's a process which is standardized. Everyone is used to it. With the Paralympic Games, we put the team from over 30 nations in a plane. We bring them to Paris, and by now they need to act as a team. Most of them don't know each other, or only a little bit. They don't know the workshop. Complete new environment, complete new system, and new colleagues, new languages. They also need, as our operation language is English, and different people speak different levels of English. So we also have to talk with hands and feet, and then they need to perform in a high level.
Yeah.
Because with the athletes, we don't know what happened. The door opens and the athlete comes in and said, I have a problem with this, with that. And then we need to find a solution.
Yeah.
And the athlete needs to rely on this solution. We cannot say, okay, now you go for your 100-meter final and you try a little bit. And if it's not good, you stop after 50 meters and come back. So this is also what we do. So we train the people before, but it's also the team spirit that we have. Sometimes, you have type of product or special situation where the technician A has not seen it before, and then technician B comes from China and said, okay, I've seen something maybe, and we did it like this, and then comes another technician from Colombia and said, okay, we had also something similar, and we did it this way and this way, and then they talk with 3-4 people what could be the best solution for this single issue, and they create a good solid solution for the athletes.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, it also sounds, as you said, this environment where you have a high pressure, but you have a team spirit, and I think it can be quite a rewarding experience, despite the pressure to be able to perform, as you said.
Yeah. So one of those stories I witnessed was in Tokyo at the Paralympic Games, in the wheelchair race. Wheelchair race, they have one wheel in front and 2 in the back, so these high speed wheelchairs. And there was a Belgian athlete. He was also one of the favorites. So he was really good day and everything was fine. And he was already in the so-called final call area, where just before they go to the field of play, to the track where he can start the competition. And he said, okay, I need to go to toilet just before the race. And he came back and both tires are flat of his chair. And this guy just being super relaxed and prepared for the race of his life, just 15-20 minutes before start, all the dreams are crashed. And then they called us, and Ottobock, please come, Ottobock, please come. And then our technician jumped over. And these tires, they are wheel tires from bicycles, and they are really high-speed tires. They are glued into the rim.
Yeah.
So it's also not so easy to change them, but we managed to. And we also saw that these both tires, this puncture was not a natural way. So someone did something. So, but we managed to fix it, and it was just, I think, 3 or 5 minutes before the start. He managed to go to the track, and he finished with gold.
Yes.
yes. So these are these magic moments where, for sure, the athlete did win gold, and not Ottobock, for sure.
Yeah.
But we were a small part of it, helping him to achieve his best race of his life, maybe. Yeah.
And I think the respective technicians probably have a lifelong fan now in Belgium.
Yeah.
Peter, when you describe this high pressure environment, which is also very rewarding and fun, if you look at yourself, having been involved in many of these high level big para events, if you look at your, let's say, state of mind, how would you describe it on the first day, just before the things kick off? And how would you describe yourself on the last day when you think, okay, it's a closing ceremony, we hopefully managed, and there's probably only a couple of days or 2 weeks in between. How would you describe yourself on the first and on the last day?
Um, yeah, so my first games was 2008 Beijing Paralympic Summer Games, and ever since then I witnessed all the games and also being responsible for the technical service. And for sure, the more routine you have, the little bit more relaxed you get. But last games, the Tokyo and Beijing Winter Games, it's and also Düsseldorf smaller games. So and I believe I'm a pretty well organized person, and I can have multiple tasks and under control. But for sure, the days before the event starts, I'm not sleeping the whole night. So, and I have also my little paper and pen next to my bed. And sometimes in 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up. Oh, maybe I have not thought on this task and write it down. So this is and then it's a mixture for sure. There is a lot of things that can go wrong and a lot of things you cannot influence. So you can do a really good organization, and this is what we do 2.5 years before, to really have a lot of quality checks. Have we done this? Have we done this? We learn from game to game.
Mm.
And then it comes to execution, and then for sure you are nervous. I am nervous if everything is there. Did I think on everything? And then you are under pressure during the whole time, because there are always so many tasks to organize, to think about, to deal with, but also a lot of fun, and then, as you said, a lot of rewarding moments.
Yeah.
And for sure, the closing ceremony is always something special when everything went well, and then we have a very successful event after us, and we could help a lot of people. Then the pressure goes down, and then we go home, and then we need some rest after that. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. So far, we've focused on these high-level global events with big media attention and maybe global audiences. Is Ottobock, and are you with your team, are you also involved in, let's say, smaller events for kids, for schools, for ordinary spare time athletes, people who don't train for the next World Championship or the next Paralympics or the Invictus Games?
Yes, for sure. So I'm not involved in every event. So Ottobock has its subsidiaries in over 60 countries. We operate over 400 patient care centers around the world, and there are many, many activities in each single patient care center and in each country where we are the idea givers, but we are not involved in the execution. One format is, for example, the running clinics. Running clinics is an event that was invented by Heinrich Popov, a former Paralympian athlete, multiple gold medal winner. It's for persons with leg amputation, so we focus here on leg amputation, and it's from, I would say, 10 years to 60 years for every age. And this is a 3 days format where Heinrich is bringing people back to sport. Because often, if you have an amputation, the CPOs, the doctors will tell you, okay, if you're lucky, you will walk safely, and that's it. You will never run, you will never jump. Be happy and lucky if you can walk straight, and that's it. Okay? And that's not the truth, because if you have the right equipment, if you have a good training and you know what to do, you can do sport again. And this is what a really great format is, that we see people crying after they do their first running steps after their trauma they had through the amputation, and then get fitted with a running blade and then get trained how to do sport again. And this is not about searching for the next Paralympian athlete. This is just for bringing people back to sport, make them part of society, that they can do a little jogging in the woods or being outside and enjoy sport. And for sure, sport is healthy for everyone. So there we do a lot of events, smaller ones, larger ones for kids. So this is all over the place. Yes.
And as you just said, the kind of sport to help people getting back into a normal life, being socially integrated, being, social participation. And you said, okay, sport is healthy. Yes. But in addition, I think also what does it give to someone in terms of confidence, in terms of being more able to maybe accept, the limb loss, maybe accept other limitations. And I think that was something which really came out nicely also during the Invictus Games, where they said, yeah, it's a sports event and it's a high level competitive sports event, but it's about community. It's about creating a room where people can deal with limitations, where people can support each other, and where people also can try out new things. I thought it was so nice that many of the athletes participated in wheelchair rugby and the rowing and other things at the same time. I've never been on a blade so far. So the last time I did jogging was in 1986, I think. So it's a bit away. So it should be on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also what the idea of the Invictus Games is at the beginning. This is what the Duke of Sussex invented. Is those military guys, they have for sure all a trauma. We don't have to talk about this. They were proud wearing their uniform. In the next moment, they were missing some legs due to whatever. And then there he saw him, a lot of those people, they were not only physically injured, but also mentally, starting drinking, taking drugs, so everything going down. And then bring them back to sport and give them confidence. This is really something important, and it works.
Yeah.
This was also the reason for the Paralympic Games. In the 50s, Sir Ludwig Goodman, he was a doctor in the UK. He started the whole movement with paraplegic wheelchair users after World War I. Normally, they were sitting in the wheelchair and lying in a bed, and everyone was waiting for them to die. And he started to do sport with them. And then the Stoke Mandeville Games, the first time, where the pre-Paralympic Games, first time it was a competition of wheelchair users doing archery.
Yes, yeah.
And he thought, okay, bringing people with a disability back to sport and give them confidence and get them more healthy is very beneficial. And ever since then, it's a huge development.
Yeah. And it's great that also we have now more and more of these events where, so we say, ordinary people can just give it a try without first having to purchase a blade or really being well informed or having others pointing them towards it. I think that's great. Peter, just if you look back at your vast experiences of being involved in these and other games and exhibitions and trade fairs, if you look back, what would you say was the moment where you were most proud of being involved in this field of work?
This is a question I get asked often, and I always have the same answer. It's not one moment. It's those multiple moments where athletes came back and say thank you.
Yeah.
This is this rewarding things when we do something to them, we help them with their problem, and they return with a medal, or they return and say, "Oh, I had a good competition," and they just hug you and say thank you. So this is what it's worth about.
Yeah.
And this was for my first event in 2008. It happened there, and it happens still last time in Düsseldorf, where those former soldiers or the soldiers came back with their gold medal, being super proud and saying, "Thank you, Ottobock, you made my day." So and this is really something I like most.
Something special. I can imagine. Yeah. You already mentioned that the preparation, the getting in the right mindset, and starting to get things organized is a long process. So if you look ahead, we're now early October 2023. What's coming up in the next 12, 15, 18 months?
So the staff selecting process is finished. So we're now working the next couple of months on our trainings. For sure, we do a lot of online trainings with them, e-learnings with them. This process starts then in March, April next year, to give them guidance for all the spare parts and machinery and workbenches. Also here, the planning phase has stopped. We have now selected all screwdrivers and hammers and feet and liners and tires and it's a huge variety. We have over 15,000 single spare parts with us. Because you never know what you need. You have, for example, for more things like screws, we need the metric system and we need the inch system, and tools as well, because you have different things. And we are also repairing every equipment, not only Ottobock, so we also need spare parts from our competitors that we take with us to be able to help out there. So there is now the selecting process finished. Now we place the orders, so all the deliveries we will be gathered together in Duderstadt in Niedersachsen, Germany, Lower Saxony, where headquarter is. And there we collect everything. And in June, next year in June, we will send 4 huge trucks, those 40-foot containers with equipment towards Paris. And for sure, on the other side, we do a lot of social media work, of press work. Internal activation is also very interesting for us. And, I mentioned earlier, Ottobock has 9,000 employees around the globe. We also started for our colleagues a competition that they can form teams now 1 year before. And every month there is a challenge where the teams can compete this challenge, and they can gather points, and they can win some funny things and things. And this is also to involve everyone a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Great, Peter. That was really interesting. If people want to learn more about your work, what's the best place for them to look things up? Is it social media? Is it your webpage? Is it
both? Yeah, use social media, Instagram, TikTok. So we are on every channel, and for sure on the ottobock.com website, you will find a lot of information.
You mentioned the running clinics earlier. If people want to get involved in the running clinics, is that something they just have to have their eyes and ears open, or is it something they can actively ask for information?
They can actively ask for information also through our website. We are doing up to 10, 12 running clinics per year around the globe, I have to say. So Heinrich is this morning, he took his plane to the United States. There is a running clinic in Austin, in Texas.
Okay, my former neighborhood.
On the weekend. In the weekend, and the weekend after, he's doing one in Tokyo, Japan. So there are around the globe, we are doing running clinics. So if you need information on this, you can also find it on our website.
Great. And I can highly recommend meeting Heinrich. He's a very approachable, funny, helpful, empathetic, and very experienced running coach. As I said, I've never been part of a running clinic as a participant. I've witnessed a few, and I just know Heinrich for some time. And if you have the chance to meet him, take the opportunity. It's really worth it.
Yes.
Peter, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show. We could probably keep on talking for another hour or two, but I'll make sure probably after the next Paralympic Games, I reach out to you again, and maybe we can hear a bit more about it. But for the time being, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And for sure, if we can do after Paris, we can do another talk so I can give you some more insights what happened in Paris at the Games.
Great. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new episodes. And I would really appreciate it if you leave me a rating on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about the Active Amputee, make sure to head over to www.theactiveamputee.org, where you find hundreds of articles from amputees for amputees. Articles filled with inspiration, information, and encouragement to be active and live a rewarding life. I see you all again for the next episode. Until then, all the best. This is Bjorn from The Active Amputee.